to the ECG, explain the issues. What do you know as far as the sector is concerned, and the reason why some people tonight may be sleeping in darkness?
Right. Thank you very much. And truth be told, most of the energy sector challenges that we have were brought on by the politicians, including the likes of Ama Kofi-Buah. At the peak of the energy crisis that we had around 2014, 2015, we went on a trajectory of signing lots of power purchasing agreements. Some of them were even signed without the involvement of ECG. And a lot of them had very little value for money consideration, as a result of which a lot of them have to be renegotiated. That was also the era we saw the political meters, the shared meters. In fact, if you go to a part of the Ashanti region around the Barikesi area, I know that many of the people in that area have been enjoying electricity for free because they were installed by politicians who were clamoring for votes. So we cannot leave out the role the politicians have played in compounding our energy sector challenges.
I'm sorry that I have to come in, but Mr. Manteaw, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Are you saying that the problem is as simplistic as you said? So today, when the energy minister, who has signed a new PPA with AXA, and it's take or pay, you are saying that it is simplistic, and that after they have talked about the fact that it is not something they would do, why did they do that? Why don't you talk about who in his right mind in Ghana will come and invest $500 or $1 billion in the circumstance I was describing to you? Why don't you talk about the fundamental problems that lead us into the challenges we have?
Okay.
You don't make it simplistic. Is Amakofi the reason why we are paying judgment debt for the cancellation of
Mr. Manteaw,
okay.
Mr. Manteaw, let me correct
Manteaw was on the floor. I want to hear him now. The question has been asked. The question has been asked. I want to hear him, Mr. Manteaw.
100% take or pay cannot be the same as 40% take or pay. Let's correct that.
Honorable Kofi-Buah, I'm happy at least you have not challenged the fact that a lot of the power purchasing agreements were signed with very little value for money consideration.
But I'm asking you a question.
And again,
and
you don't ask me a question. You challenge what I'm saying if it's not true.
Well,
that a lot of the power purchasing agreements were signed at the ministry without the involvement of ECG.
But that's not true.
That is true.
Most of the PPAs were signed by ECG itself. That's the fact.
Some were signed by them, some were signed by the politicians. I tell you this for a fact.
I know for a fact that I didn't sign a PPA. I signed it with ECG. I know for a fact.
Honorable Ama Kofi-Buah, are you aware of the shared meters that were brought in by politicians?
You answer it.
Which are not captured in the ECG database.
I know of the rural electrification problem. We are not talking about rural
But Dr. C. Manteaw, Dr. C. Manteaw, substantively though, this government had been trumpeting their urgency to renegotiate all these contracts. They've had 7 years now to do so. The president was reporting on, they said they've been very successful. I mean, so these legacy challenges, they've had enough time to fix it, but we still have problems right now.
Yes, it's easy to create problems than to solve them.
Because the fundamentals are not being solved.
So can I come in here?
Sorry, Steve Manteaw was on the floor. I want to hear him. I want to hear him make his substantive point, please. Yes, Doc.
So what we don't have in the sector today is perhaps a bit more transparency, because there are steps that we've taken to try to address the challenges in the sector, including the renegotiation of some of the power purchasing agreements, the introduction of the energy sector levy. We haven't had much accountability in terms of how much we paid through the levy and how much of the debt we have to go or to clear. There are a lot of other issues to consider. Look,